Hey, it's Katrina McGee with Loving on Me, and it is week 26 of our Go Get Your More series. This week, I want to take a step back and look at the lens through which we view life, most specifically, the resources that we have. Now, there are really only two main perspectives. One is to embrace the spirit of lack, and the other is to embrace the spirit of abundance. Now, we talked about this in like 2 or 3 of our series, but I want to go back to it because sometimes when we're going for the more God has in store, we tend to slip back into the spirit of lack. In the last couple of weeks, I found my own self doing that. I'm trying to grow and expand new areas of the business, and I find myself saying 3 things over and over. I don't know how. I don't have the right team. And I don't have enough money. And one day I started really listening to myself and I said, what am I doing? I'm putting my own self into a box. Because the minute we start thinking about what we do not have all the time, we don't start to do things differently. We keep doing the same things over and over, and eventually our frustration builds up and we never move forward. That's why it's so important that we embrace the spirit of abundance. We remember that we are enough, that who God created us to be, the things that He has placed deep inside us are enough for us to at least take the next step. But I know sometimes we want all the resources up front. So we feel like if we can't go the whole mile, if we can't do the whole big vision God has for us, that we don't have enough. But this week, I just want to encourage you to change your perspective about how you view resources. And our shift in thinking is there is always enough to meet my needs. Now, the reason we don't stick with this usually is because we fall into comparing and competing and complaining. We see what somebody else has and we feel like we need that too. We see how far somebody else is and wonder why we're not there. And before you know it, we're focused on their path instead of our own. But when we realize that God always gives us enough to meet our needs, He may not give us the whole thing at once, but He at least gives you enough time, enough talent, enough resources, expertise, education, and support to take that next step. And once you take that next step, He will supply the needs for the next one. So what we have to say to ourselves is, I am destined for success. You know, life works a lot different when we remember that our destiny is success. Because when we know that we are assured the victory, we can be more patient in the process. So this week, whenever we feel like we're about to say something that will make us feel like we're not enough, I want you to say to yourself, I am destined for success. I know I have the victory. So I can look at what's in my hands right now and ask God to take the pieces I have and help me put them in a different order. Now, the best way I found to do that is to start journaling out my gratitude, because sometimes I forget everything I have. I forget the people I know. I forget the places I've been, the different perspectives I have. I forget the expertise I have, the resources. Trust me, you have so much more than what you can even remember. So for the next 7 days, write a letter of gratitude, just 1 page. Be thankful for the things you have right now, even when it feels like something random, like I know how to sew, or I'm really good at gardening, or I'm really good at listening to people. Write it down. Eventually, God will help you see how to take those pieces to the puzzle, put them together differently, and continue to walk forward towards your greatness. I believe in you. We are all destined for success, and we are enough. I'm loving on me as I love you. Mwah! Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.